Hi folks, so today's video is look number 5, wrapping up the week using the Venus 1 palette from Limecrime. I did want to come on and do a red smoky eye since this is literally the first look that I did when I first got this palette a couple of years ago. This color right here, Muse, is just like such a beautiful like burgundy red color that I couldn't not do a look sort of focused on that, but I did want to give you guys an option to show you that it can be used to create a really beautiful look. And yeah, so if you guys want to know how to do this, then just stay tuned and here's my tutorial. Okay, so the shades that I'm going to use today, I'm going to use Divine, I'm also going to use Muse, and a little bit of Creation, so those four. And I did just kind of want to use Muse all over the lid because I know when I first got this palette, that was the first color that I was really drawn to. I had really not found a matte, dark red, burgundy like kind of color like this in years, and this was like one of the first palettes that I feel like had that color. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of did this makeup look like 4 hours ago. I took a nap, I watched a video about dogs, and I cried, and so yeah. Anyway, so 3 brushes that I think I used. I could be wrong. I used kind of a fluffier rounded tip brush for in my crease. I think I used this bottom brush for underneath the eye. Maybe I didn't use this at all. I don't know. I think I might have just used 2 brushes, to be honest. And then I used a 239 paddle brush. 234? 39? Oh my god, I don't remember. Anyway, so I'm going to take this sort of rounder, fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Divine. Rosy, weird color. I don't know. What does that color look like to you? It's like a brown mauve, maybe? I don't know. This shade's going to go just all up in my crease. I'm also going to use that and blend it up just a little bit, even though we are going to be adding a little bit of Creation on top. I did just want it like that color just right in the crease. Alright, and then once that's applied, next color is Muse, and I'm just taking that on a flat paddle brush. There's somebody in a fucking like motorcycle in the middle of December. Anyway, I'm going to take that eyeshadow, I'm going to apply that all over the lid. Beautiful shade, very pigmented. Does have a little bit of fallout if you're not careful with it, but just be sure to tap off your brush. It's not like the worst eyeshadow in the fallout game. It's just you want to be a little bit more mindful when you're using dark reds, because when they do fall down and you go to wipe them away, it does look like red on your face, which is kind of why we put foundation on in the first place, is to sort of like get rid of any red tones. You know, just be mindful of that, or careful. Or you can always do your foundation after. It's entirely up to you. Alright, so then after that's applied, I'm going to go in with that same brush that we used earlier. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Muse on that brush, and I'm going to just use that to blend that upwards. Alright, I'm also going to take Muse on a little paddle brush right underneath my eye. It's just going to be a very, very red tutorial. Again, this may not look good on everybody, but you can try it out and see sort of just how much you might like it. I don't know, you might find out that you really like it. So I'm going to take that other brush, the 217, I'm going to dust into a little bit of Creation. This is going to just help to blend out the red right on the bottom of the eye. It's going to make it a little bit more of an orangier tone, just so that it's a little bit more wearable, if you will. I'm also going to take a little bit of that color and I'm just going to apply that right onto the inner corner as well. And then I'm also just going to lightly use that to just start to blend out the very edge. Just to add a little bit more of an orange. It's going to help kind of pull it away from the red so much. Alright, so then once that eyeshadow is applied and you blended it out to your liking, the next thing I'm doing is I'm just taking a black eyeliner. It's going to go right on my waterline. And then I'm just going to take that little paddle brush and start to just sort of pull that black eyeliner down a little bit. This is just an effect that I like. It kind of gives you more of like a grungy, smudgy look. It's almost like that waterline color sort of migrated down. I like that look. I like it when it settles into my sort of like eye wrinkles underneath. I don't know, I just like it. It kind of caters to my inner punk kid, brings it back to like, you know, 2004. Alright, and then for mascara, I am using the shitty mascara I don't like. Again, this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Full Lash Effect. Luscious Full Fan Effect mascara. I've said 100 times in my videos, I don't like this mascara, I think it fucking sucks. But let me tell you one thing that it is good at. If you want this look, which I doubt most people will, but in this makeup look it actually works. I put on like 2 or 3 coats of it and it really makes my eyelashes like clumpy and spider leggy. Depending on what kind of like artistic vision you're going for, I actually like that with this look because I want to do it more grungy, more punky, more worn in, and so I don't mind that look of sort of chunky eyelashes. You can totally take this look, make it pretty, put on a pair of false eyelashes, it would look like just like a beautiful fall red smoky eye, or you can grunge it out a little bit more depending on your personality. I'm going to do a couple coats of this like shitty mascara just to make it look like I have 4 eyelashes. I don't know why, I like that look sometimes, obviously depending on the makeup look that I'm wearing. For this one, I don't mind it. Like you can see, like hopefully you guys can see that. I literally did 1 coat of mascara and I have like 4 eyelashes from it. It's very wet and it's very sticky, but then it also clumps the eyelashes together. Because the brush is kind of like one of those weird short brushes, so it doesn't do anything. Like, the actual mascara formula itself is nice, but then the brush is doing it no favors. So yeah, hopefully you guys can tell from my camera, but it really does sort of just make your eyelashes clumpy and gross. Again, it's kind of the look I'm going for in this particular look. I always like to try to see positive for products that don't necessarily work for me, so that's a positive. If you want that kind of look, this mascara is not bad for that. If you want nice, normal looking eyelashes though, maybe not so much. Okay, so then for the face, putting on NYX Taupe Blush. I did have a request though from somebody to compare the shade that was in the Viseart Neutral Matte Palette to Taupe Blush. So I'm just gonna hold those kind of beside each other. So that's the shade that I use for contour. This is Taupe Blush. So you can see that Taupe definitely has more of a brown tone to it, whereas this sort of shade has more of a purple tone to it. Both work for me, but it depends on the look that I'm going for. I'm going to try to find a contour shade that's similar to the one in the Viseart palette that isn't ridiculously expensive. And then I'm going to use an oldie but a goodie. Again, I feel like a color that was sort of paired well with this palette when it first came out. This is Limecrime Salem. Okay, so then with the lips applied, this is the final look, which I really like. It kind of brings it back to makeup that I wore like in my teens. So yeah, that wraps up day 5 using the Venus 1 palette. I really hope you guys enjoyed this week and maybe showed you guys some different looks that you can use with this palette. I know a lot of you guys have this kicking around and haven't picked it up in a while. I'm well aware of that. I had this and sort of forgot about it as like newer eyeshadow palettes came out, and playing around with it in a week sort of reminds me that, like, to me at least, this is kind of like the OG burgundy like palette. It's definitely one of the first ones that came out, even though it only came out in like October 2014 or November 2014. It still feels like this palette has been around for like 8 years. I don't know why, but I really feel like this sort of started the wave of like grungy burgundy palettes. I don't know, let me know if you also agree with that. As usual, my review will be up tomorrow at 8 AM Eastern Standard Time, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, hope you guys are doing good, and until my next video, I'll talk to all you soon.